Hi everyone, in this episode we're going to be talking about our success on a wholesale platform called Faire and how you can find success as well. Within 1.5 years since joining the platform, we've grown from 20 to 700 retailers and over £150,000 revenue.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things we want to do. We want to take you through what we've done so far, the tips, strategies, and how we've kind of gotten to that 150k mark. And then what we're also going to do in year 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give you a quick recap, since we've joined the platform, Faire has been offering money off to new retailers that we bring to the platform. So whether it's one of our leads or our own customers, if we bring them to the platform through our Faire Direct referral link, we lock them in at 0% commission for life. So it's win-win really for us. It makes things so much easier. All the invoicing and the payment terms are done through Faire. We still get to keep that customer their hours, but we get the kind of ease of using the Faire platform. And so we did that. That was the first thing we did. We brought out all our own customers, not that there were many, to the platform, and they liked starting to use it. And then after a few months of sitting on the platform, we started to realize what an awesome opportunity that we were sitting on. So we began to pivot our own time and resources to spending more time on acquisition and getting more leads into Faire using that Faire Direct link. And we tripled our revenue within that first month.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely crucial what you touched on there, Lucy, of we were tiny in the wholesale game before we started with Faire. So I think, we'd been working for maybe 4 years and we had 20 wholesalers or 20 retailers, I should say, in that time. And then we went to 700 really quickly. And I think what we did that was really important is we just kept experimenting. We did everything you could possibly think of in terms of like the standard retailer, acquisition toolkit. We did cold emails, we tried warm introductions, we hired a telemarketer. We just kept trying different things that worked for us. And, that was, I think, the core thing. And it continues to be the core thing, just constant different things. And what we've found for us that works is cold email. We have a very visual product, which we can share quite easily with customers. Movement isn't super crucial, so we haven't had to worry too much about video. And we've got a bright, kind of bombastic set of colors that, really do resonate. We're not a black and white sock company yet, but that is something that I think everyone should have a think of for your product, what's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't really know until you test it. So you might be kind of stuck in doing one way because that's worked for you over the years, but I would really recommend just trying different techniques. And this is why we're doing this podcast video series. We talk a lot about Faire. We release weekly videos about our own strategies that we've tried. So I really recommend having a look through and just trying them yourself, because you never know what could stick. And then you'll think, why have I not done this before? We come across things like that all the time. And another thing that worked really well for us last year and continues to work, but this is, early uptake is when you first see the kind of boost in revenue, is we really doubled down in a particular niche. We discovered that podiatrists, so people who look after your feet, were kind of a winning retailer for us. They weren't even on our radar when we first started looking at retail. We were looking at kind of the traditional gift shops and boutiques that might stock our socks. But then we worked out that actually this makes sense. We're selling a product that fits really well for this customer base. So for those of you who don't know, bamboo socks are really good for your feet. So they're sweat wicking, thermoregulating, and they're great for sensitive feet. So podiatrists recommend them to their customers. What we're bringing to the market is obviously our very bright and colourful product, but also we have that added benefit of donating profits to charity. So a lot of technical socks for podiatrists tend to be more on the bland side of things, but we've got this added extra fizz to the product that podiatrists were loving. So we doubled down in this niche, and a lot of them were not on Faire already. They're not a traditional retailer, so we just went really hard in this section. And something that worked really, really well for us is we went to the Royal College of Podiatry. So this is a central body. It's a trusted source for podiatrists, and we asked them to send out an email from us talking about the benefits of bamboo socks, and the call to action was our Faire offer. And we made £56,000 in 1 month, and a large proportion of that came from that offer, as well as everything else that we were doing at the time. But that was hugely beneficial. So, that's a very niche area to go into. But if there's a particular part of a particular industry that you think that you could double down in, then I recommend looking if there's a trusted source that you could work with.
Yeah, and we really had doubled down successfully with acquiring customers that were going to go onto Faire and become those kind of really awesome 0% commission leads where Faire just provides all the operational overhead. No need to worry about anything around like the credit risk. We haven't had any customers not pay us, and that's because Faire pays us, which is a common gripe you hear with these wholesalers. So yeah, we acquired all these customers Faire Direct in the first kind of like 6 months to the year, and then Faire was matching all of those customers that they gave us with another customer through their marketplace. So these are people, businesses, retailers that are on the marketplace looking for socks, and Faire is quite regularly pushing us to the top, maybe not the top, but right up there in terms of impressions. So all of these retailers actually have a chance to see our socks and then potentially purchase from us, which is awesome. So it's that quid pro quo that's worked really well. And what we'll see now, just in front of Lucy, I hope, is a few graphs, and this is retailers by channel. And as you can kind of see in that kind of first 3 to 9 months, we grew rapidly, and we grew rapidly, most of it through Faire Direct. And then as you can see, as our Faire Direct acquisition has kind of really taken off, so has our marketplace. Now, we've probably taken our foot off the gas a little bit on the Faire Direct acquisition, but we're still trying to kind of continue to push it, and the marketplace is bringing us a lot of customers. And these are also a lot of Faire customers that are going to try, our socks for the first time, and then we'll potentially reorder. And if I look at kind of the second graph that's going to come up here, nice pink and yellow one, new customers versus repeat customers. And as you can see, we're still getting a considerable amount of new marketplace customers, and considering how many we're getting, we're still getting quite a lot of repeat marketplace customers. And then if we look at our Faire Direct new versus repeat, so obviously we did so much acquisition in the first 9 months, and now pretty much all of our Faire Direct customers are repeat purchases, which is fantastic. They've also got a larger average order value. We've been treating those customers, I guess no different to anyone else, but they come in with a small kind of sample offer. Maybe they buy £50 worth, and then they end up buying 150, 200, 300 pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's super powerful seeing that data in front of us. So yes, thank you, Faire, for that one. So a few other things that I want to jump into before we talk about year 2 on the platform and what we're doing to grow even further is a couple of things that also helped with that initial burst of growth. So we met regularly with our brand success manager. We met on video calls. We actually met in person a few times as well, and we discussed strategy and ways that we can collaborate with him and with Faire. We've done YouTube videos with him, so really kind of utilizing that resource. Before we had a success manager, we used a lot of strategies and ideas, really made them notice us, and I think that's just helped solidify our relationship with Faire. So that's like a key one. If you have a brand success manager, I definitely learn from them. They know the platform better than anyone, so really recommend that. And another quick win that you should definitely try is sending out samples if you don't already. So we did a bit of an activation where we sent out samples of our socks along with a postcard that said, it's kind of co-branded Faire, Bearkind. We even put a picture of me on there saying, "Hi, I'm Lucy, here's some socks. This is what Faire is. There's some credit in your account." It just kind of gives it that human feel. And our socks are really high quality, so they translate much better in person than online, like a lot of products do. So, and that worked really well. We paid for that whole activation with one order. So definitely recommend trying that out.
Yeah, crazy. It just shows the power of, continued experimentation. And so, as we look more and more into year 2, the biggest thing for us is just how do we keep outreach going and going and going? And this is the main thing really that we think will continue to grow our Faire Direct business into the year. And so we've been working quite hard on that. I know, Lucy, you're spending kind of half an hour a day looking for leads, different businesses that could potentially work for us. They may or may not be on Faire, but the core thing is just what are a type of business that could potentially sell socks. So one of the ones we've been doing recently is looking at farm shops. We save animals, and so hopefully we kind of have a similar market, people that like kind of natural organic products and are looking to look after animals that bit better. And I think, how many did you acquire? A few hundred?
Yeah, up to 600. So it is quite manual, and that's why I say I do half an hour a day, because you need to limit it. It is hard work, and you've got I've got other things to focus on. But if I give myself that chunk each day, one of the key things I do is I record how many leads I'm getting myself each week. and then I'll try and beat it the next week. I have like a little competition with myself. I'm really cool, I know. But it really helps. And these are quality leads that we're getting because I'm looking at each one and looking at it and thinking, yep, I can see how we fit here. And then we'll put them into our acquisition flows. And
Absolutely.
yes, farm shops is a great one we're looking at the moment because, we've recently launched some farm animal ranges in our socks. So that also really helps. Like we're finding a relevant product market fit here that goes with the kind of customer base that we're looking at. So yeah, that's a really powerful way, and I think it's hard work, but this is where we're getting the money from, is finding those leads and persistently emailing them.
Yeah, and you don't have to do the smartest thing. This is kind of time on it. You can just keep doing it.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's a bit simple, but it's hard. And so we were doing a lot of our acquisition previously through the Faire CRM tool, which was actually so powerful and the absolute right place for us to start. So in the first kind of 6 months to a year, we were going all of our customers through that tool. It's really simple, easy to use. It doesn't have all of the bells and whistles, but maybe you can share a bit more on that, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great tool, and it's for the first year that's what we used, but we found that we've now outgrown that. There's a few bits of functionality that we wanted from it that Faire haven't brought to it yet. So yeah, absolutely, we still do all our sales through Faire, and it's it's our number one wholesale channel, but we're using our CRM and our email marketing through a different system now, and it allows us to add a certain branding and have a lot more control of what we're sending, but we're still directing people to Faire. So we've now moved onto a CRM system called HubSpot, and so far we've been on it for a few months and it's really, really good. There's so much functionality there. We're sending out beautifully tailored emails that have our branding, and it does allow us to have that kind of control over what we're saying and where we're sending people, and there's a lot more trackability as well. So Faire, you have open rates, you have click rates, but on HubSpot we can see where the customer clicked in an email and exactly who's clicking where, and it just gives us a better idea of how our emails are landing and how we can improve them for the future.
For me, it's all about right tool at the right time. So the right tool at the right time for us when we were small, we didn't have many customers, was to go through the Faire CRM tool. It does give you that ability to tailor the content. It gives you everything you really need when you're a small business. But then now, and it's free. Now we've gone on to HubSpot. We're paying for it. It's a bit more functionality, a bit more niche. It's their kind of core business model. And so that's where we're doubling down. But again, right tool, right time. And so one of the things that we'll be going into right now is our monthly cadence around our newsletter. And so we've been trying to build, a consistent, sustainable business and rhythm for our customers. And so we're sending them product updates, animal days, how we're going with our charities, all this type of thing that a retailer could potentially use for them to sell more socks. I think that's the really key part for us and for you. Education, information is much better than kind of sales, constant discount in terms of building these long-term relationships. And that's what we're seeing. One of our biggest ever emails that we sent out in terms of acquisition of our retail customers was sharing kind of the graph of sales and how that relates to the graph of searches on Google Trends. So you never really know where it's going to go.
It's all about adding value for our retailers. As Andy said, it's not a sales pitch in that. It's about making them feel part of the community. So a really nice part of the email is we give them updates from our charity partners. The one that's gone out this month is about a rhino, I think it's a rhino calf.
Yep.
Yeah, being born. And so, what a lovely photo, what a lovely story. And it's, the Helping Rhinos charity is the one that we support with our rhino socks. So, it's kind of that feel good factor, but also useful information for our customers. If they're selling rhino socks, they have stories to tell. So it really brings it to life for them. And the thing is with these wholesale emails is we don't really expect replies, and it's not something we'd really see unless someone has a specific question about a product or, something going on in their shop that they want to talk to us about. Then we don't really get replies on these emails, but that doesn't mean that they're not successful, because we'll still see sales off the back of them. The people you're emailing are busy business owners. I see this all the time. I get cold emails. I get so many a day and I don't reply to them, but it's always ticking over in the back of my head. That if there's something I'm interested in, it it might be there in the back of my head, but if you only email me once, I'm never going to remember you. So that's the key thing: consistency and persistency. You have to keep showing up for them and being at kind of top of mind, so when they are ready to buy, they think, yes, I remember hearing from Bearkind and the baby rhino and all of that, and they'll buy from you. And so it is, don't feel like you're emailing into a blank space, because sometimes it can feel like that, but they will buy from you eventually, but you do have to be persistent.
I love that, consistency and persistency.
Yeah,
nice one.
Put that on a t-shirt.
And I think the key example of that we've seen is we've had customers which we've been emailing for a year and a bit, and we know that they would love our socks, and they maybe they start opening them, they keep opening them, and then by the end of that time they actually come in with a stonking order because they feel like they trust us, they know us. And I've been really surprised that someone wouldn't kind of make that action in that first month, 2 months of maybe receiving kind of our 5 to 10 emails, which is what we do with our acquisition flow. So we'll kind of get that email, we'll identify their farm shop, we'll talk to them about all the specific selling points that we think could work for them, and we do that over the course of 5-10 emails, and then they kind of go into our leads flow, and we hit them. And I think the main thing is just consistency and persistency, and just keep trying. And so I think that's probably the main thing we're doing, in the past 2 years. We've done really well with consistency and persistency. Sit down with your brand success manager, work with them. If you don't have one yet, don't worry. You've got so many opportunities in front of you. Find the thing that works for you. And we're really starting to learn from other brands. So we've spoken with, a puzzle brand before. We've spoken to a candle brand, and all of them have a unique thing that works for them, whether that's on their newsletters like us with the charities, or maybe it's great lifestyle images. Maybe you're a gifting business and you kind of hit in those core gifting periods. And remember, birthdays are all throughout the year. And so if you're in the right place at the right time, you can do really well through Faire, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We learn so much from these brands, and that's where we continue with our experimentation. We might speak to one brand and then find that they're trying something completely different from us. We'll think, okay, yeah, let's try that. So yeah, really recommend reaching out to some other brands on the platform, see if you can collaborate. There's heaps of advice and people out there willing to share. But yeah, so we do like to share our experiences and our strategies on selling with Faire. We do this every week, so we will jump on camera and talk about things that are going on in our business in terms of Faire, how we're growing on this wholesale platform. The opportunity is still there, so please subscribe for more, and we will see you in the next video.
Thanks, everyone.